How to get ahead financially in your 20s. Hello everyone, my name is Bryce Littler with Wealth Charter Retirement Planning. Our goal is to help people simplify their finances and help them reach their financial goals. In today's video, I'll be going over the 6 steps on how to get ahead financially in your 20s. In your 20s, you're most likely starting your first full-time job. And with that, you're making your first full-time salary. It can be enticing to go buy a brand new car or go on a shopping spree. But if you're diligent with your finances in your 20s, you have a great opportunity to set up a really good financial foundation. In your 20s, you don't really have a lot of monetary assets, but you do have a lot of one of the most valuable assets, time. So here are the 6 steps on how to get ahead financially in your 20s. Step 1, get on a budget. Creating a budget will allow you to track your income and expenses, which give you a valuable insight into where your money is going. A good rule of thumb is to keep your fixed expenses at or below 50% of your after-tax income. Fixed expenses include your mortgage or rent, utilities, transportation, insurance, and groceries. This allows the other 50% of your income to go towards paying down debt, saving, investing, and your wants. Step number 2, establish a base emergency fund. Your base emergency fund should be able to cover your highest insurance deductible. To find this number, gather all of your insurance deductibles, rank them from highest to lowest, and select your highest insurance deductible. This should be the target of your base emergency fund. This will give you enough cushion to cover an emergency expense as it comes up. If you have more than your highest deductible saved, take that extra money and put it towards step 4. The goal of the base emergency fund is to provide you some cushion while you're paying off your consumer debt. Step number 3, get your employer match. If you work for an employer that offers a 401k, they most likely also offer a company match. This is where a company will match your contribution up to a certain level. For example, if your company offers a 4% match and you put in 4%, they will also put in 4% for a total contribution of 8% towards your retirement savings. This is awesome because it's basically a 100% return on your money. Step number 4, pay off all your consumer debt except for your mortgage if you have one. Consumer debt like credit cards, student loans, car loans, and personal loans can be a huge financial burden. The high interest rates on these debts essentially mean you're paying more for an expense you've already had. Pay off your consumer debt either using the avalanche or snowball method. To use the avalanche method, list all your debts from the highest interest rate to the lowest interest rate. Pay all of the minimum payments on all of the debts, and then take any extra cash flow you have and put it towards the highest interest rate debt. After the highest interest rate debt is paid off, take that minimum payment and any extra cash flow you have and apply it to the next highest interest rate debt. Keep doing this process until all of your consumer debt is paid off. Mathematically, the avalanche method will minimize the amount of interest you pay over time. However, it might not provide the psychological wins that the snowball method provides. To use the snowball method, list all of your debts from the smallest balance to the largest balance. Pay all of your minimum payments on all your debts, and then allocate any extra cash flow you have to the smallest balance debt. After the smallest balance debt is paid off, take that minimum payment and any extra cash flow you have and apply it to the next smallest balance. Repeat this process until all of your consumer debt is paid off. The snowball method focuses on small psychological wins that helps provide momentum as you're paying off your consumer debt. However, either route you might choose, whether it's the snowball method or the avalanche method, either one will lead to you paying off your consumer debt. Paying off all your consumer debt in your 20s will set you up for financial success in the future. Step number 5, establish your full emergency fund. Once you've paid off all your consumer debt, your emergency fund should cover at least 3 to 6 months of expenses. For example, if your monthly expenses are $4,000, your emergency fund should be between $12,000 and $24,000. But how do you know whether to have a 3 or 6 month emergency fund? If your income is predictable and your job is stable, your emergency fund can be closer to 3 months of expenses. However, if your income can fluctuate, your emergency fund should be closer to 6 months of expenses. Step number 6, start investing for retirement. Once you've paid off all your consumer debt and you have a full emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses, you should be contributing at least 15% of your gross income towards retirement accounts like a 401k or a Roth IRA. This percentage does not include any employer match or contribution. So if you get a 4% match like the example earlier, that does not count towards your 15% contribution. Your 15% is what you put in towards your retirement. Starting this early on will allow compound interest to work in your favor. To illustrate how powerful compound interest truly is, let's go over a quick example. Let's say you start investing at 25, you currently have $0 saved, and you achieve an 8% annualized rate of return. To have $1 million saved by age 65, you would need to contribute $286.45 a month. Over the course of 40 years, your contributions would be just shy of $140,000. That means of your $1 million saved for retirement, $860,000 of that came from growth alone. By taking these actions now, you'll be well on your way to financial success in your 30s, 40s, and beyond. Remember, time is your most valuable asset. Be sure to subscribe for more personal finance tips and content.